Hi guys, my name is Nonema Tikela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about Judge Rata in the Senzo Meyiwa case. Oh, sorry, there's something that is very strange that is happening. In the Senzo Meyiwa trial, we have seen many strange things, okay? We have seen the state contradict itself. We have seen witnesses crumble under cross-examination. We have watched expert evidence collapse like a wet cardboard. We have seen that. We have seen expect everything that. But yesterday we need to talk about something far more dangerous. A judge who keeps insisting that a man is Section 204 witness, even though no such thing exists on record. No such thing exists on record. And the most frightening part about that, he is eager, almost excited to drag that man into sentencing with the 5 accused. He is eager to drag that man being Gwabini, into sentencing with the 5 accused. That is how what he says, that's how he sounds. I don't think he realizes that. Is he aware that he's giving away too much, more than he should? Is he aware? Because what is this, Nasan? In Donlendo School, this is not law. This is not procedure. This is not justice. This is prejudgment. This is bias. And this is textbook example of a court losing its way. Because this thing of Gwabini being a Section 204 is a fiction. Why am I saying it's a fiction? Let's start here. Judge Rata keeps repeating that Gwabini was a Section 204 witness. Keeps insisting, keeps affirming, keeps speaking as if this is a fact written in stone. He keeps speaking as if this is a fact written in stone. But the truth is simple. There is no Section 204 application. There is no affidavit. There is no formal disclosure. There is no record showing he's been granted indemnity or even considered for it. None of those things. What we have is Baloyi claimed when Gwabini was on the witness box. And he claimed only an hour after he started his evidence in chief with Advocate Messi. So how does that make him a Section 204? Where is the disclosure on record? Where is the formal disclosure on record? Where is the affidavit? Where is the Section 204 application? Where are those? Judge Rata never asked for that, but he keeps on insisting that Gwabini is a Section 204. Njani, with his 56 years experience, Hayibo Lotata, and a judge taking a prosecutor's claim and turning it into a reality by reputation, that is judicial misconduct. That is judicial misconduct. The law, what Section 204 actually requires is this. Before someone can be called a Section 204 witness, the state must bring a formal application. The witness must agree. The witness must offer full and truthful testimony. The court must approve the indemnity. The testimony must be evaluated. Only then can the court even begin considering indemnification. None of that happened unless they can bring that paperwork, that proof, that record. Then we can say, well, Gwabini, you are a liar. But from where we are standing, they have not disclosed any of that information. So that means that's a claim That's what Baloyi is claiming. None of that happened. No testimony, no application, no cross-examination, no truth testing. So he is treating a speculation as a fact, Judge Ratha. Baloyi is just speculating. Where is the paperwork? Where is the paper trail for all of that? Section 204. Why is Judge Ratha like this, guys? That is not just sounding wrong. It's dangerous. The way he sounded when he spoke about the Gwabini issue, that I don't know whether the state is going to charge him, it showed the bias. It showed that he is saying, I can't wait to deal with him at sentencing. Sir, have you no shame? Now, this is where things go from strange to alarming. Because whenever Judge Ratha talks about Gwabini, the excitement slips out, the anticipation, the eagerness, as if he has already made up his mind that Gwabini is involved, Gwabini is guilty, Gwabini must stand beside the 5 accused at sentencing. A man who isn't an accused, a man who hasn't testified, a man whose legal position isn't even before the court. Ask yourself, what kind of a judge pre-decides the guilt of someone who isn't before him? Gwabini did not testify regarding his own case. When I say he did not testify regarding his own case, he's just testifying about the lies of the bride or the party. That's what he is testifying about. That's not neutral adjudication. That's not fairness. That's a judge who sees himself as part of the prosecution. The loop of corrupted logic is right here on our face. Here is the cycle that we are watching. Baloyi asserts, Ratha repeats. Reputation becomes truth. That's what we see there. And now the judge talks about sentencing someone he has never heard in court. This is how wrongful convictions happen. This is how appeals succeed. This is how judicial credibility dies. Because if a judge cannot separate assertion from evidence, he has no business presiding over a high-stake murder trial. The real stakes, public trust. Let's be honest, the South African public is already suspicious of this trial a lot. We are all suspicious of this trial. We're not going to talk about the 2% that is Delulu's. We're not going to talk about that. Too many inconsistencies, too many convenient theories, too many collapses disguised as progress. Too many collapses disguised as progress. And when a judge leans into a prosecutor's narrative with this much enthusiasm, people start wondering, is this still a court of law, or has it become a theater where outcomes are decided first and evidence is an afterthought? Because what we are saying is not impartiality, it is alignment. Alignment with the state's version, the state version that keeps breaking under the weight of its own contradictions. And the bottom line, a judge has one job: to keep the scale balanced, not titled, not influenced, not predetermined. But here, the scale is not just titled, it is leaning so hard it might snap. So let me say this clearly. When a judge starts pre-sentencing people who aren't before him, when he insists on a fact that doesn't exist, on record, on a fact that doesn't exist on record, when his enthusiasm mirrors the prosecutor more than the law, that is not justice. That is bias dressed in a robe, and the entire country is watching. This trial will be remembered not for its evidence, but for its conduct. The misconduct, the bias, the bending of procedure, the eagerness to stitch narratives instead of uncovering the truth. South Africa deserves better. Senzo Meyiwa's family deserves better. And the five IQs, whatever one thinks of them, deserve a fair trial. Because justice built on shortcuts, not because justice built on shortcuts is not justice. It is theater. And theater cannot hold the weight of the truth. The world is watching, and so are we as South Africa. Hashtag the Senzo Meyiwa trial. It has become a spectacle. It has become a spectacle. That's where we are right now. Anyway, what are your thoughts when it comes to this? Let's have a conversation on the comment section. Thank you so much. I will see you on our next video. Bye-bye.